I don't know if they will nerf. They nerfed Ophelia. Well, it couldn't. Isn't Ophelia? You could do that solo because Ophelia was survival. They will see the metrics after so many weeks. Yeah, unless their balance team is still on vacation. They also nerfed Bofa. What was Bofa? It's crazy to think they won't nerf this. Come on, Wolf, you know this. Yeah, you're not wrong. Just how long before they nerf it. But then we'll find something else. I guarantee you the player base will find something else. Guarantee it. They don't play their own game. DE is like literally stupid. I mean, they're smart because this is a great game, but they're stupid at the same time because they don't play their own game. They only nerfed Ophelia because you weren't even playing the game. You were whip clawing a ceiling and that's it. They have no reason to nerf this. I don't know, Apti. Two of us are doing nothing but getting free Kuva. Yeah, I can't really side on. It's hard for me to side on that argument if they will or they won't nerf it. I don't know. DE pays attention what they want to pay attention to. So if they pay attention, like you said, to the metrics, I don't know if that's something that they're going to be looking at or not. I don't know. That's an argument that's up in the air. I'm not sure. If not nerf Korra, yeah. Even if they did, with all the DPS, you could just run a Banshee. You could just, instead of running 2 Korras, you could have 1 Korra and run a Banshee to deal more damage. But I really don't know how they haven't nerfed Korra yet when Steel Path came out. Because I think they actually did look at all the frames that were being used to get through Steel Path. I think they had a chart for that. Either that or they're so, like, they're being ridiculed, like, really hard right now when it comes to nerfs. I think the important thing... This is my thing. I think the important thing is to remember of how many people actually have unlocked Steel Path, since a lot of people really, really don't want to unlock it, and how often they want to pay attention to it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if if they were in the office, they said, alright, we nerfed that map. Steel Path will be completely fine from now on. And then they never look at it again. It's hard to take a side on that. You can get backpack tier, all you need is Steel Path open. Well, I'm saying, like, dude, so many people... And I'm sure you've experienced the same thing on your streams, man. So many people have not completed their star chart. Like, so many people don't know what Steel Path is, or what arbitrations are, or what the Conclave is, who freaking Teshin even is. Because there's so many people that come into this game, they'll get to, like, rank 5 and then they never play it again. The stats that Lee posted the other day for Xbox was like, the achievement stats, dude, was... ironically ridiculous. I disagree completely with that thought on DE as a company. Well, they're a good company. It's just they're spread too far thin, so it's very hard for them to pay attention to the multitude of things that need to be buffed and nerfed. But they always nerf stuff in accordance with usage. The question is, are they paying attention to that? Nobody knows. They always have those charts and stuff on streams or whatever, like when something comes out, or like something is rearranged. They make one game. I don't see them as thin spread. What matters to you doesn't matter to them, that's all. What matters to them is making money. What matters to them is making the player base, like, as hyped and excited as possible for new skins and new Warframes, and that's it. Every advertisement that I see for this game is for cosmetics, or is for a new Prime, a new frame, new Cyandanas, new skins, another part of the game, but then below that it will say skin, Cyandana, it's got Cyandana. False, all I see is ninjas play free. That's not what I see. I always see crap about cosmetics. That's just on Facebook, though. Depends on what platform you're seeing it on. On Facebook, it's always cosmetics. Always. Once you are in the community, they pitch you in-game with content. Yeah, but people still don't pay attention to that. That's because you're in the Warframe community. You follow Warframe people, you are involved. I really don't... The only thing I really feel DE really cares about marketing is their skins and primes and whatnot. They do care about how much we grind and how efficiently we do that grind if it's too hard. Like I said, that's why they nerfed Ophelia. It's like Apti said, you're just slinging your whip claw at your wall. No, it's not the Warframe people on Facebook doing the cosmetic advertising. It's like DE themselves. Like it's the Warframe Facebook page. Like, it's their actual Facebook page, and that's what it's always advertising, is just skin, 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 skin. Cosmetics, new Warframe. Okay, so you follow the Facebook page. I don't, actually. It just suggested. Facebook just suggested for me, because I'm part of the Warframe Xbox One community. It just suggested. Twitter, it's the same thing. I follow... Who do I follow on Twitter? I follow Shy. I follow Steve St. Clair. I think I follow Rebecca. But that's it. I don't follow the official... But those are suggested stuff. I just think this game is going down a very dark path, and a lot of content creators will tell you the exact same thing. Am I gonna stop playing it? No. And I know you're not either. I love this game. I'm very afraid for it. I really don't want it to die. But like die I don't mean like die completely though. Don't get that misconstrued. It'll still be here. It's just that it's gonna fall very low in popularity. Call of Duty will overrule. Imagine BTB going back to streaming Apex full time. Where did this one go to the floor? I don't mind Call of Duty. I actually really liked the last Modern Warfare. It felt like I was going back to Modern Warfare 3 days. It's hard for me to get into Call of Duty because it's so much like shooting through walls and crap. Do you watch Ray Talia's videos, BTB? Literally nominated for Community of the Year. I think you're a little off in your analysis of the community in its current state. The community doesn't represent the game. The company and its product does. You can have a great community, but if your product is ass, the product will eventually fail. If you want proof, go to the Twitch directory and look at how many people are streaming Warframe as compared to Destiny 2, Borderlands 3, Path of Exile. The community did used to represent Warframe. Like, it was very driven. It was highly driven by community, and it doesn't really feel like that anymore. It's like the only time the community does represent of how the game changes and whatnot is just when people complain a lot about something being nerfed. Like the last dev stream that they had, everybody was yelling at the developers literally. So when are we gonna get another nerf? Another nerf? Scott, you're gonna tell us about another nerf? Like that's literally all it was about. You can go back and watch that stream, and you will see what I'm talking about. You've never been trolled by 50,000 people? Well, not everybody in that chat was trolling them. They're not trolling, they're being serious. People are sick of it. Go on Reddit. People will bitch all the time about nerfs. If anything, it's the vets that are pissed. Reddit is very credited. Reddit... Alright, I kind of take back that statement, because Reddit is very toxic. Reddit can be very, very toxic, since people get that anonymity of what they say and like what they do and everything like that. A lot of people that are really worried about it. Mogamu, Kyrios is worried about it. Life of Rio, he does nothing but... I don't say he does nothing but shit talk, he just kind of like reports on like bad news of the game. Ray Talius, who's a very credited Warframe content creator who had been trying to help DE with Valve and Rework for eons and eons. Because he ridiculed DE, they didn't allow him into the content creator program. Like they were that spiteful that they didn't allow him in. When you discredit somebody for possibly trying to help you and your company in your game just because they ridiculed and criticized your game, that's childish. Would you hire someone who talks shit about your place of business? He wasn't talking shit. He's not talking shit. In none of his videos was he calling anybody an absolute fucking moron. It's not childish, it's childish to think the other way. What other way? Why would they? You're gonna allow someone to become a mod of your stream who does nothing but talk bad about you, or if you're a manager / boss, you're gonna hire someone that talks bad about your company. I wouldn't allow someone to represent my company who talked negatively about it. Yeah, but you can't get anywhere in any sort of company unless you ridicule it. If all of us just straight up praised Warframe for every single decision that they make, this game would never improve. I really don't like that argument of you can't ridicule a game. You can't ridicule a company. If you don't point out any flaws of anything that you like, it will never improve. It will never improve. It's not a creator job to do quality assurance. It's to showcase the game. Wrong job, go get hired as a programmer then. But you just said earlier that the community represents the game. So you're saying that we shouldn't ridicule the game? Okay, then fix it. Well, I can't do anything to fix it. If you have the power to cry, then change it. Well, I don't have the power. The only thing I can do as a streamer is is to try and make sure people have a better experience, but give them the honest opinion of what they're getting into, then how can you think that a content creator has that power? When you get multiple people to get on the same page to apply the same change and ridicule, then it can make a difference. A lot of people that were on the content creator program have stopped playing the game. And if what you said earlier was true, that the community represents the game, if everybody in your community starts hating on the game, then that means you've lost your game. You're saying there's such a huge community of people who are mad. Where are they all? Go look at the top comments on any post for any Warframe post, or for Reddit page, Twitter, Facebook, the forums, Warframe forums. Go to any of them. Look at the top comments. Do you go post nice things though? No, I stay away from forums. Wait, who went down? No one posts nice thing. It's an echo chamber of crying people who think that they have the power. They're not crying, man. Saying that they're crying is like saying that they're babies. We're not crying, we're complaining. There's a difference between crying and complaining. I don't mind the grind in Warframe. My biggest issue with Warframe is explanation and representation with the game. And bugs. I wish there weren't as many bugs. Just go watch Mogamu has 5 videos. He did a series of like the state of Warframe. Warframe actually used to be a lot higher on the Twitch directory when it came to people like watching it. It would be pretty up there. It would be in like 10K, but now it struggles to get over 1,000 unless Digital Extremes itself is actually playing. I'm only complaining because I care about the game. I'm not crying, man. There's a difference between crying and actually being like, this game fucking sucks. It's such a huge fucking train wreck. Why the fuck don't they fix any of this shit? You stupid pieces of fucking shit. That's crying. I don't yell at the game like that or anything like that. I'm not yelling at developers or going on forums creating a bunch of issues. That's being a crybaby. Criticizing the game is saying like, okay, you guys have a lot of issues that I really think you should fix, instead of focusing. What the fuck am I seeing? Hang on a second. Am I seeing shit? If that's your metric, then 99% of game... Wait, what? 99% of games sin the directory fail. The difference is action, not attitude or spicy words. But the difficulty is getting everybody on the same action. And that's really hard when you have a lot of new players that are consistently praising it for skins and content that they say is good, but it's actually kind of bad. And it needs work. If you remember when Railjack came out, man, that was a huge shitstorm. It was bad, like really bad. So you're mad at a business model that works. It's not that I'm mad at a business model that works. I'm mad at a business model that might eventually fail. And a lot of the time and attention that we put towards this game will eventually amount to nothing. That's what I'm mad about. The business model is working, BTB. It is. I'm just afraid of where that business model is heading. I think next year they are getting purchased by... It's not Liu. They're currently owned by Liu. And then next year they're going to be purchased by Tencent. I'm just trying to understand why you think the game and the community is in such dire need of help. Because it's dying. It's been around 7 years. Most games go to the Walmart $5 bin 3 days after release. Because there's just... A game's success is... I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. A game's success is money. Success in game is money. Right. That's what I'm saying. Is they can keep bringing in new players with more skins, new primes, new frames, new weapons, etc. And that's just not... People who have been playing this game and put a lot of time into it have been crying for a long time, like, please go revisit older content. Like, give something purpose. When Liches came out, like the entire community screamed. When Railjack was released, the entire community screamed. When Scarlet Spear came out, the entire community screamed. They're releasing content that is either a buggy mess not rewarding enough. It's too overlooked. It's rushed. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel correct. I was here for Scarlet Spear. There was record high numbers in the directory. That's because it was new content. But there were tons and tons and tons of people that hated it. It was one of the most toxic events. There were tons and tons of people that were like shit-talking each other. A lot of people were shit-talking each other when it came to Scarlet Spear, especially in the relays. I think people's main issue with Scarlet Spear was that it crashed the arcane market. It was that partially, like maybe 80% of that was the arcane market. But if you wanted to seek out toxicity, just look at the relay chat when Scarlet Spear was out. A lot of people shit-talking each other, calling each other fucking morons and idiots for running like wrong builds. Rose and Zero will tell you, we got bitched at multiple times because we weren't running the correct builds. Go play Call of Duty and open mic. I don't have to, I don't know what you're talking about. Warframe overall is not toxic, and it's hard to argue otherwise. Trade chat. You said yourself, trade chat is like the most toxic shit you'll ever dive into. I had somebody tell me, like today, telling me that I would never sell an Arcane Rage set ever for 700 plat. 2 minutes later, sold it for 700. If someone calling you stupid is so hurtful, you have a weak spirit. That's not what I said, BTB. You're making assumptions. I just hit the ignore button. If they ever shit talks me, I just hit the ignore button. Or like tells me different. You just ignore them. What happens is someone says you don't have a good price. Or that you're dumb. Or they make 3 separate accounts and try to harass you on all 3 accounts, like that one guy did with you, right? So if that's the most toxic thing in your day, it's not a bad day. Everyone nowadays are snowflakes. You're not wrong at all, man. Absolutely. Or they have to feel that they're right, or correct. Sovereign and I were like really good friends until we had an argument about like my price for Arcane Strike. I think he like legit unfriended me because he didn't like the fact that I sold Arcane for underprice. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Kind of childish, but okay. I just wish, my biggest thing, BTB, I just wish that the content that they came out with was just like more intricate. It was more in depth. There was more detail to it. Before the relic system, it would actually be very, very hard to survive in MOT for like more than like 20 minutes by yourself. It's just everything has kind of become a power fantasy, and I'd like a challenge. I'd like something that is... It's like I said in my opinion video, and this is all just my opinion, man. Don't take this as a, like, my full disclosure. Don't take like everything I say like too literally or seriously. It's just my opinion at the end of the day. Have you soloed Steel Path yet? I have not, but I can probably very easily do it. Because if you have the knowledge of the game, you can easily solo anything in this game, except this map. Sov cares a lot about making plat, as any Eidolon hunter does, and when someone is lowering the plat, you can gain. I understand his frustration. Okay, but he has 70,000 plat. He literally told me he had 70,000 plat, Apti. I can't fathom that. I don't know why you're gonna get salty about someone underselling an arcane when you're already sitting on 70,000 plat. That's a lot of fucking plat. I can understand if you're somebody who's struggling to get a sale and like you're trying to get plat, but if I was sitting on 70k plat and like I'm trying to sell an energized set for 1.5k and then somebody sells it for 900, it's like, oh, okay, he'll get the sale and I won't. I'm okay with that. If I have 7k plat currently, if I saw somebody underselling something, that's fine. People get upset over the dumbest shit, especially when it comes to the trade chat market. A few hunters got blacklisted from the community because of lowballing. It's just something that happens. And I can understand that. If they're trying to make like thousands and thousands and thousands of plat, or if they're already sitting on thousands and thousands and thousands of plat, it's like, why not just let the other guy have that sale? Is it because they're trying to play who's got the bigger dick game? Who's got the most plat? Like that's kind of dumb. That's kind of like the origin of all evil in the world currently. Is everybody's trying to play the big dick game? Who's got the best company, or who's got the most amount of money in their savings? Like that's stupid. that's greedy. You don't need to do that. If I was sitting on 70k plat, I wouldn't even be looking at trade chat. I would be giving a lot of stuff away. You got every skin, got every frame, got every weapon, got every mod. It's like, alright, let's be a little courteous. There's only so much power in the game you need, you know? That's just how I see it, though. The only reason Idle and Hunters still hunt is because of plat. There's no other reason to do the content, so why would you sell something for cheaper than it is worth? Because you don't need to. Items are worth what people sell them for. It's an open trade chat. Exactly, BTB. There's too many instances where somebody will come and tell you, you're never gonna sell that, it's too expensive, or you're a fucking moron, you're selling for that for way too cheap. Like, it's, okay, are you the one who governs on how the prices are done? You can just say, no thank you. That's nobody's business. That's your own business and nobody else's. I totally agree, Jack. Everyone in the shed has gotten a rare prime set for cheap. There's 10-0 that want to hook people up. No one is the damn hall monitor. Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't be either. If you disown somebody because they're selling something cheaper than somebody else, then you're a very selfish person. Especially if you're somebody who's sitting on 70k plat. That's such an ego game, and like that, I would never want to associate myself with somebody like that. If I had that much plat, man, I would do so many plat giveaways so often. Like, there's just no reason to have that much. Someone said I wouldn't sell my Sendo ribbon for more than 300, then I got 800. Yeah, exactly. I had that same situation with a Broken War ribbon. As long as we have a lead, we are good. Just keep the cores alive. I know, I fear for the worst sometimes. Because it ruins the economy. If you see a bunch of people selling a Reg 5 energized for 100 plat and you were a serious hunter, you wouldn't condone that. It simply ruins the market for everyone because people want to make a quick sale. I disagree. I humbly disagree. I don't think if somebody's... Okay, if somebody does sell an Arcane Energize, a rank 5 Arcane Energize for 100 plat, that's their own stupidity. If I ever do see somebody underselling something, I tell them, like, hey man, you know it's not worth that, right? You can actually sell that for a lot higher and make a little bit more plat. Like, sometimes I'll see somebody trying to buy something... What was it? What was it one time? I think it was a Prime mod. They wanted to buy Prime Continuity maxed out for 400. I was like, dude, I'll sell it to you for 200. Like, you really don't need to pay that much plat for something. I just buy it and flip it. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Like, BTB's favorite thing in this game is watching trade chat, like buying and flipping stuff. That's people's own ignorance if they decide to sell something lower or higher, or decide to buy her. I was selling a rank 5 strike for 300 plat. He said you should be selling it for 500, I think he said. Like 500 at the lowest, you should sell for 600. I'm like, well, I'm not trying to get, like, maximized profit on this. Like, it's an open market. You can sell stuff for what you want. Yes, you should remain conscious of what prices are. Does that mean that you have to abide by it? No, that's your choice. Just because I post and trade chat one single time, or 2 times, or 3 times wanting to sell my rank 5 strike, that does not immediately lower the price for it. It's just like I sold that Energize for 1.5k. Most people were selling for 1.2, 1.3. One single sale does not affect the market eternally. Okay, so then why do you message people to edit their prices up? If you don't listen because you can sell what you want for what you want, why would they listen? Yeah, I sold that strike for 300 because I didn't care about maximizing profit on it. I had plenty of plat. Like, that's just why, like, I can't... Apti, I love you to death, man. Like, we have a lot of great conversations and I like hunting with you. I do. But if somebody has, like, a crap ton of plat, I think if you have just over 1k plat, and this is just my opinion, I'm not claiming myself to be right. We're having a civil discussion here. Like, let's be civil about this and be respectful to each other. I think if you're over 1k plat, I think you're doing pretty good at Warframe. Because a lot of people are just so impatient, dude. If you have so much plat, why would you care about a measly low 300 plat? Because 300 plat is still 300 plat. That's a 30-day booster and a half. Why not maximize your value? Because I don't need to. I could possibly make somebody's day a lot better by selling them a strike for 300 plat. that could possibly make somebody's experience a lot better. It's not about you. It's not always about you. It's not about your personal satisfaction. It's about the thought of possibly making somebody else's day better. Just like what BTB says, man. Like, it's important. Like, that's the reason that I stream this game and I play this game. As I'm hoping that through my giveaway system and through my store, it makes people's grind just a little bit easier. I try to give away as much knowledge as I can. I try to give away as much plat as I can, as like sets that I can. I don't care about being top dog and having top shit, having every single last little thing in the game, or having the most plat. I don't care about that. I care about the state of this game. I care about people enjoying it. And I agreed entirely. Like, I can think in your head, just like, why are you going to make people's lives so easier when all the stuff that you worked really hard for, you're just going to hand out to everybody else? Sorry, I said that kind of childish. I do apologize for that. But you're right. I did work really hard for the stuff that I have. So it's like, why should I make somebody else's life a little bit easier and give them a sense of entitlement? And it's not that. I want more people to have more experience with this game, have a better time with this game. Number one, so we can possibly have a larger voice collectively when it comes to the state of the game. And number two, because that's the reason I'm alive. That's my literal purpose in life, is just to make people's day better. I want people to enjoy their life while they're still on this earth, even if it is through a stupid video game. Like, that's really... I could give away... I mean, I'm not going to do it. I could give away all my plat right now to Gibbles, or to just 10 random people in chat, or 5 random people in chat. I will be okay with that. I'm going to be in trade chat for like a really long time trying to get my plat supply back up. But that's not what this game is about. It's not about having the maximum amount of plat in your bank at all given times. I can't respect that notion of the big dick game of who's got the most plat. I will absolutely always give away what I can. If we hit Twitch goals, if we hit sub goals, if we hit follower goals, if we hit like just any sort of goal during Twitch, absolutely, I will happily give away like 1K, 2K plat. Like, do big giveaways for big achievements. It's eye for an eye, ear for an ear. I don't find pleasure in having stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of plat. If I had 70k plat, dude, like, holy crap. And I had people struggling in the game. Some MR people, it's like, here's a nice old chunk of plat. Get you some boosters, get you a skin, maybe get you a frame. Make their life better, make their day better. It's different for streamers like you and BTB. I don't know, man. I feel like you can maximize your value. You should. That's just me, I guess. Yeah, it's personal preference. It's all opinionated. It's all opinions, man. We're a family here. Just gotta respect each other. It's not a big dick game, though. It's just about making your time worth it. Yes, it is about making time worth it. I'd rather get the quick sale in 20 minutes than waste 4 hours trying to get an extra 50 plat out of an item to maximize. But in this case, it's a 300 plat difference, not a 50 plat difference, and the amount of time it takes to get a rank 5 strike is not a very quick thing. It isn't. You're right. It is a task and a half, number one, to even get a good group together for Eidolons, and number two, getting strike to make sure that that's the arcane to actually drop. You're absolutely right. But 300 plat to me is like still a lot of plat. Already got nerfed. Dude, imagine somebody from DE like watching us right now. Yeah, let's like notch down the drop chances a little bit. We talked about it too much, possibly, yeah. Or it's being advertised on stream too much. Like Beetlejuice, we said its name too many times. Yeah, man, it's all just conversation. I'm not meant to insult anybody or just like say we're a bunch of crap babies or anything. It's just criticism. It's just conversation. I'm really afraid for this game, man. I love this game to death. I'm afraid that at some point there's gonna be some kind of breaking point for it. that won't really be for the better. I don't think it'll completely like die, but I just wish that there was better explanations for things in the game. I think that would help Warframe's stance a lot. I really wish there was just like tutorial pages and stuff like that for people to, like, they click on the railjack button and it tells them what it's all about, or like it what do you call it? It like sends them to a YouTube video, like tells them like what they have to do to upgrade it, or like you get your Kuvalich, your first Kuvalich, and like it gives you an explanation, tells you how to work the quest board. Like, it just, I think if this game had much better explanation, as opposed to people having to use wikis and YouTube, I think it would be a lot better. It's just a lot of the mentality that a lot of kids have today of not wanting to work for things. Like, so many people like expect things to be just like instantly handed to them and everything. I think that's the reason this game doesn't retain its players as much as it could. Am I saying make the grind easier? No. That's not what I'm saying. The grind is fine. I mean, it's new grind that I do have a problem with. I don't know if you had heard me say it when I was on that rant video the other day, but if the very paradox is like the Orican, or like corrupted, like void open world, I can't. I'm probably gonna quit for like a year. I just don't see much creativity in copy and pasting same systems for grind into another one. Formulatically it has to be. If it is, man, I can't do it. I just feel like there's already so much more for him to grind for. Prime parts, Kuva, arcane, sentient cores, all the resources in the game. I can't do it anymore, man. I'll take like a year hiatus. Don't get me wrong, Deimos looks insane. Like, Deimos looks incredible. It looks really freaking good. Like, they did a great job with Deimos, like really good. I'm not saying I'm happy about it, but from a lore standpoint and available enemy factions, we need a sentient open world. I think they could utilize maybe different bounties on different planets. Do you remember when they advertised the new war cinematic BTB and like all the sentients were invading the planes, and like you saw them like killing Grenier or whatever? Wouldn't it be cool if we had like some kind of civil war going on between the sentients and the Grenier or whatever, and like you have to like fight back the sentients? Like, you saw them sentiifying the Earth or whatever, and like you're having to fight them off Earth and back into their sentient ships. Like, that was their trailer for Scarlet Spear, and like I was like, damn, this looks pretty cool. I wonder if we're gonna have to fight sentients on Earth and like help the Grenier push them back. No. We just got Scarlet Spear, that's all we got. I think there's stuff that they could utilize on Deimos, on Fortuna, on Plains of Eidolon, with sentient-like themes, like the sentients attempting to take over different parts of the star chart. I don't think they would need to make like a whole other brand new open world to utilize for a new grind. But we did fight sentients on Earth, and we did have to push them back. Through one particular way, though. Just through one particular way. Like, imagine if you saw the sentients, like you saw the landscape shifting on Plains of Eidolon while you're doing a bounties. Like, you saw sentient ships like emerging from the ground, changing the trees and the landscape, and like just tons and tons of them coming at you. You're trying to fight them off by switching back and forth between operator form and like trying not to freak out over all the adaptation buffs that they get, like in like a adaptive type of world. No more open world, but you want a Plains event? Yeah, because I think it would be better, my opinion, BTB, not clarifying as fact or that it needs to happen. My opinion is, I think it would be... Oh, shit. Just got hair in my mouth. I think it would be better to utilize older content, an older map, add some landscape aesthetics to it, possible lore to it, and just like helping out the Grenier faction. So it's new content, but slightly recycled, but in something in Warframe that we've never really seen before. Alternating landscape in two factions fighting for territorial control. Like, you know of how the, like a, kind of like a progression system. Like, you know of how, this is just all in theory, I don't know why I'm even bother saying this, but this is just all in theory anyway. Imagine like a progression system, like of how the Baylor Fomorian and the Razorbacks get crafted. Or not crafted, but like that progression bar goes up. Like, imagine if we had that between Sentient and Grenier, or the, what do you call them? People on Cetus. What are the people on Cetus called? I forget what they're called. Their faction. People, Cetisians. I don't know. Ostrons. Thank you, Zeke. Ostrons. I think a good example of making older content. Did you, or wait, before I say this, BTB, did you play Destiny 1 by chance? Over 1,500 hours. Okay, good. Good. So, something that everybody criticized Destiny 1 for was recycling content, right? So, but it still worked. Destiny 1 still maintained a lot of popularity even though that they recycled content, right? So, imagine if Warframe's... Ow. Excuse me. Imagine if they did the same thing with Cetus. Like Cetus bounties, like Sentience versus Grenier. Like, the reason that they managed to keep things interesting on Destiny because it was still grinding for new weapons and like new builds and fighting new bosses, new mechanics. That was the one thing I appreciated. Like, that's kind of what kept me into Destiny 1 was the mechanics. So say if they had like a really interesting event on Cetus with bounties that was like where they added some more mechanics on fighting back the Sentients or whatever, they could reuse that old content as opposed to making an entirely brand new open world and an entirely brand new huge open world grind. Raids are fun. Dude, they were. Raids were so much fun. Raids are awesome in Destiny, and they still are. I think Destiny 2 still has good raids, if I'm not mistaken. And people will cry about it's just Sentience on Earth. Not if they did it right. If they did it right, then they could probably make it work. If they would do it right or not, I don't know. Usually when they revamp stuff, it's always people will cry no matter what. Exactly, Gibbles. Exactly. Same way we all cried about, it's just mining with infested skins, just fishing with infested skins. That was what made reskinning or reusing, I say reskinning, I really mean reusing. Reusing content in Destiny 1 was they would add different mechanics to it. Like, they would add Taken to some of the strikes, like two factions fighting each other. They would add some mechanics to like some boss fights, you know. Add special events where like you had to do certain things, like the Black Spindle, like upgrading stuff. Am I saying that Warframe is like, okay, so you're basically saying Warframe needs to be like Destiny 1 remakes? No, I'm not saying that. I don't see anyone around here running to Deimos to max out their Neighborist event. I kinda want to. I do need to do more Deimos bounties so I can get more Exodia Arcanes to sell. Most people just go do those farms to get the cosmetics and then they just like won't touch it again. Calling it event is a stretch. Yeah, it's kind of more like a, I guess you could say a dumbed down reskin, if anything. I just thought it was cool of how Destiny 1 would like add certain mechanics to stuff. The Neighborist bounty incentive, yeah. The only incentive for it for a lot of people was cosmetics. That's pretty much it. A lot of, what was I saying earlier? Sorry. A lot of people that ran Scarlet Spear, like a lot of people that I know who have actually kind of like left Warframe for a while that like I haven't seen in a long time. Because I mean, how many followers am I at now? 868. There's actually like a lot of names that like I couldn't come up with the top of my head because that's a lot of fucking followers. But I know a lot of people who said that they did the events for Scarlet Spear to get the weapons and some of the arcanes, and that's it. They never touched it again. They did not want to do any more. And the same thing could be said for Neighborist and I'm One. Yeah, see, there you go. You have to give more of an incentive, I guess you could say. Arcanes were a good incentive, but just majority of people are going to do that event for one thing, get it, then be done, never touch it again. Whereas Destiny, you know, you have like a larger reward pool, you have mechanics to it. I hadn't started playing this game during Scarlet Spear. Didn't you start afterwards, Siki? I'm just afraid for Warframe, that's all. I just wish more people invested more time.